Hello, hello, hello. This is Philip Cargom. This is Tea with a Druid, number 368. Tea with a Druid is brought to you by the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids, and it's lovely to see so many people here already from Berlin and Idaho and Teesside and Costa Rica and Phoenix and LA County and all sorts of places. So many messages coming in. That's great. That's fantastic. South Wales, Chicago, Denmark, Ottawa, Finland. Hooray! Michigan. Yes, good to see you. Good to see you. Sunny London and Richmond, Virginia. Great. So good to be with you. Good to be with you. So let's just take a pause while everybody gathers. Let's just take the opportunity to settle. This time on a Monday is our time to come together, to be together. All of us, the French word ensemble came to me, to be ensemble. And of course, in the English language, we're used to that as in a musical sense. And that adds another dimension to it. We're here to make music together. So let's just become aware of being seated in the grove, and then just tune into your body. And tune into your feelings, levels of feelings and your thoughts. And just how you're feeling. Let's just take a moment to check in and to say how we're feeling. And so if you'd like to come out, and we'll drop back in again quite soon. So, but let's just share with each other how we're feeling, because that kind of helps us to feel somehow closer to each other. Meanwhile, more people are coming. I feel excited to be here for the first time, but overwhelmed by life. Okay, yeah. Full of courgettes, allotment glut. I read that as allotment guilt. I want to be cynical about stuff, but I'm feeling too good for that. Calm, weary, relaxed, lovely, warm, furry cat on my lap, rebalancing, fatigued, adrenalized, but full of hope, feeling tired but calm, buzzing, saved to be. He rested on my hand over an hour before returning to the skies. Lovely. Watching it fly away was the best feeling. Tired, unbalanced, quiet and peaceful, hopeful, tired and confused, grateful for you and your sharing. Thank you. Glad to be back for a tea, watching from work, refreshed after a nap, peace flows from my heart, feeling grief and gentle, grateful to be back, feeling relaxed, just had a midday nap with my cat, peaceful. I'm challenged, where are we? Struggling with the duties of a cleric in my town, feeling grounded though, energized and fabulous, in a challenging space with my body and no idea how to move forward. Calm, a bit tired, sad from world affairs. Had a lot of negative views about human being confirmed recently, but I got to see my favorite podcast live 2.5 hours away. Tired, weak, very sore shoulder, thinking a lot about the future, superficially anxious, but underneath more at peace than I've ever been. Yeah. I think that really recognizes how we can have different levels of feeling, can't we? At one level, we can be feeling one way, and another level, another way. Excited at connecting like this all over the world. Content, full of life, love, hope, and also pain, frustration, and exhaustion. Past frustrated calmness. That's a good way of characterizing a feeling. Empty. After a heavy thunderstorm earlier this evening, I'm looking forward to some cooler temperatures. Refreshed by iced tea. Cathartic. Exhausted but comfy and cozy. In pain and panicky. Sorry to hear that, Ruth. Summer heat is helping me with energy. I have hobnob, so happy but concerned, reconnected, finally dry and warm, peaceful like the dogs beside me on the sofa. The swords in the tarot was a good pointer today. Energized. Napping with cats seems to be a theme today. Trusting. Physically relaxed but mentally hyper. Old. Coping with health problems. Relieved. Happy to be here. Exhausted and yet somehow wired. Feeling a little disillusioned. Hot but happy. Feeling strong with fortitude for the challenges ahead. Happy to be here too. Confused. A whole range of feelings. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So I'd like to share with you an idea that a colleague shared with me, which I think is rather interesting, and it applies specifically to how you are in social groups, particularly online. So it's just focused. This isn't a big deal, and this isn't about who you are in a kind of profound sense. This is just looking at your action within social groups. So if you're in a group on WhatsApp or in Facebook or on social media or whatever, we've been used to, people say apologetically, "Oh, I've been lurking." If you say, "Oh, I didn't know you were in that group. I haven't seen you say anything," people will say, "I've been lurking. I'm a lurker." And of course, that's kind of pejorative, isn't it? So apparently, social scientists have come up with a concept called social loafing. So social loafers are the people in a group who don't actually actively participate by writing messages, but they are present. They're there and they read other people's messages. And the reason it's of interest to me is because we have this amazing, huge social network now called the Druid Hearth. And anybody in the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids can be in this hearth. So there are thousands of people in this wonderful online space that we've created with the help of a wonderful software developer in Ukraine. And it's just fabulous. And there's all sorts of things in it. And one of them are groups, circles, special interest groups. And there's over 100 of them. Special interest groups for people interested in all sorts of things, seasonal festivals, magic, divination, cooking, poetry, storytelling, all sorts of different things. And we have the one that I'm particularly kind of responsible for is the mental health professionals group. And we have 542 members of this group. 542 doctors, psychiatrists, psychotherapists, psychiatric nurses, and then people involved in mental health in other ways, people who engage in various alternative therapies like aromatherapy and so on, who feel that mental health is their kind of field, that they're in the mental well-being arena. There's an extraordinary number of people. And we have monthly Zooms. And the reason this conversation came up with a colleague, Jem, who's a psychologist at the Open University, was because what interests me is, although we have 540 people in the group, there's only about a certain number of people, by no means 540, who actually engage in the discussions and come to the Zooms. Maybe 50, 60, something like that, about 10%. So I was intrigued about that. Is there something we're doing wrong? Is that the nature of the internet and so on? And so we were talking about this. And he said he'd come across this concept of social loafing, which suggested that it was just the way we relate in these groups, you see. And I said to him, it's a pity that has to be pejorative. It's kind of a bit rude, isn't it? Well, is it rude? I don't know. But social loafing, it doesn't seem particularly great. But it has a nice relaxed feeling, I must admit. But I said to Jem, let's think of another term that's more positive. And he immediately came up with it, which was the mycelium, this wonderful network underground upon which the community of fungi and mushrooms depends. And it's absolutely vital and necessary. You just can't see its activity. It's a wonderful image. So the question for you now is the truffle. I put, are you a mushroom or a fungus? I meant, are you a truffle or a mushroom? Yes, are you a truffle or a mushroom? The truffle is below the surface, it's part of the mycelium, doesn't participate in the discussions much, maybe occasionally, but really basically most of the time you check in occasionally, you read the posts, you enjoy the feeling of community, you just don't contribute. You don't feel you need to, you don't want to, or you feel shy. So here's the question. I would love to do an informal survey now. Just tune in. And when it comes to a particular social group that you're in, an online network, doesn't have to be all of them, because maybe you're different. Maybe you're a mushroom in one place and a truffle in another. So are you a truffle or a mushroom? So already we've got the answers coming in. Truffle, I'm a bit of a truffle. I'm a truffle. I'm truffleish. I need a t-shirt now that says 100% truffle. Ulla says, I want to be a mushroom. It's aspirational. Depends on the day and the topic, but mostly truffle. Truffle. Both. I'm both, depending on the environment. Truffle. It's important for me to feel like a, hang on, where's it gone? It's important for me to feel like a mushroom, but I'm not the biggest one, just a little mushroom. Mostly truffle. Trussroom, says Lindsay. Truffle only because of a lack of spare time. A mushroom at heart. This is fantastic. So, are you a truffle or a mushroom? Half and half. Very truffle. Bit of a truffle. See, look, we've got lots of truffles. We're in good company. A bit of a truffle if my passions are triggered. I'm a mushroom that hasn't broken the surface yet. Mainly a truffle, but practicing being a mushroom more online. Liz Hills, totally depends on the group. I'm in so many, depends on my intentions, how closely Venn diagrams overlap. Primarily a truffle, mushroom, definitely truffle. I'm a truffle, mushroom, mainly a mycelium, but sometimes I pop up. Oh, I've enlarged my screen. More truffle, but sometimes a mushroom. I'm a magic mushroom. I'm guessing we're all truffleish. It varies from place to place. Mushroom recently. A quiet mushroom, but I will participate. So you pop your head up above the surface of the soil occasionally. The group matters. It's all context dependent. Yeah. I'm a truffle, but I should like to grow into a mushroom. I'm a mushroom and like to spread my spores around, says John. Are you part of my... Oh, another t-shirt. We've got two t-shirts coming out of this. One is, are you part of my mycelium? Is one of them. And then the other one we heard earlier. Brent says mushroom. Oh, yes, I can be a magic truffle. Yes, you can be a magic mushroom. You can be a magic truffle. A truffle in mushroom clothing. Truffle. I would love that t-shirt. By answering this question, does that make me... By answering this question, does that make me a mushroom? What's that? I'm so designing these t-shirts. Yes. Then what kind of mushroom are you? Magic mycelium tribe. Great. I'm going to write it down. Yes. So there we go. We could do a lovely, if somebody's into illustrating, we could do a lovely little sort of online survey, couldn't we, with sort of pictures of mushrooms and truffles. Natalie says, I'm a mushroom in a good Zoom group. Fantastic. Anyway, there you go. So thank you to Jem for suggesting this. And this, we've if you happen to be a member of the mental health group, if you happen to be one of those 542 people, and you haven't completed the online survey, do please. We've had 70 people, probably all the mushrooms in the group, have completed the survey. Could now the truffles please complete the survey? You'll find it in your inbox in your Hearth account. So let's let's go and visit some mushrooms and truffles by dropping into a meditation now. Let's just, being aware of where we are now, seated in front of our screens, let's just gently close our eyes or lower our gaze to drop into an altered state, to sense the walls around us, the floor beneath us, and the ceiling above us. And then being fully rooted, fully present here and now in our rooms, wherever we are at the moment. We take in a slow, deep breath, hold for a moment, and then breathe out fully and deeply. And then another deep breath in, hold for a moment, and then breathe out fully and deeply. And as you breathe out, you might like to imagine that the walls around you, the ceiling above you, and the floor beneath you are gently fading in your awareness so that you find yourself coming in to a clearing in the forest, coming into that place beloved of the Druids, a sacred grove, clearing in the forest. And here in this clearing, there's a little fire burning in the center, a tiny little fire with just a few little crackling flames and wisps of smoke. So there's this lovely smell of wood smoke. And you see that there are people gathered here from all over the world. And there's this kind of excited feeling of joy at being together, and also a sense of community and connection. People recognizing each other, people welcoming new arrivals, and just settling in the circle. Sky above us, trees around us, the earth beneath us. And now notice what time of day it is as you're seated in this circle. Breathe in the smell of wood smoke and the aroma of the trees too. And sense the energy of the sky now. Feel the sky above you. And feel the energy of the sky flowing down into your being. Breathe in, welcoming the sky energy into your aura and your field of awareness. Nice, deep, slow breaths. And then energized now, sense the trees around you. Feel their presence, their spirit, the real sense of the spirit of the trees. And open your awareness now to really sense the being of these trees, the forest. Sense the forest as this global, living presence around you. All this life, this consciousness in the trees, these spirits of these trees that we love. Sensing the presence of this whole forest now and the sky above you and the surroundings. Sense the forest as a living being who senses and feels who you really are. You no longer feel an isolated being on this earth. You are recognized by the forest, by Mother Nature, all around you. And as you open to this recognition with gratitude and love, your awareness moves down to the earth. You sense the earth at your feet that you're seated upon. And you see that there are some mushrooms here. And it's as if your awareness can drop down now, and it drops down into the earth herself. And you sense how these mushrooms are connected to the truffles, to the mycelium. You sense in the soil, and you can smell the soil, and you can smell the mycelium now. You can sense all the life in the soil. Creatures moving through the soil. And just without analyzing it or thinking about it, just open to the presence of this mycelium now. Just allowing yourself, if you wish, to become it. Just become part of the mycelium. No longer an isolated individual. Just part of the whole. Connected. Related. In meaningful exchange. Supported on every side. Supported by the soil below you that just holds you as part of this mycelium. And the energy flows into you and through you. Nothing to do. Just breathing in and breathing out. And allowing your awareness now to gradually travel along the mycelium up into becoming a mushroom. Just imagine now that you're just breaking the surface of the soil. Just coming up as a mushroom. Just notice how it feels to be a mushroom. And then gradually, just gently, you allow your identification with this mushroom to gradually fade as you become identified with being seated in the forest beside the mushroom. There. An individual with a group of individuals seated around in a circle to either side. And you very consciously and slowly sense your arms drifting up from your lap. And you very consciously and deliberately sense now the moment at which your hands to either side of you connect and hold the hands that are to either side of you. So that now all of us seated in this circle are like a mycelium. feeling that sense of community, of connection, of just being in meaningful relationship without needing to do anything, just being together. May the life force flow through us. May healing flow through us. May our bodies be healed, our hearts be healed, our minds be healed. May we receive the blessings of the elements, of the trees, of the stars and the sun and the moon above us. May we feel the love of the forest for each one of us as part of the community of life. May there be peace on earth. May the earth be blessed. May our lives be blessed. May all of life be blessed. And you squeeze gently the hands to either side of you. And then gently and very consciously and deliberately, you feel yourself letting go of the hands to either side of you. And then coming together onto your heart and placing your hands on your heart. May the blessings of the forest, of the stars, of the sun and moon be in my heart. May all of life be blessed. And then gradually your awareness of being in the sacred grove begins to fade as you become aware of being fully present here and now. And when you feel ready, you open your eyes. And he says, I've always been a fun guy. Thank you all. Anna says, I'm such a boisterous mushroom in my muggle life. I like being a truffle online. That's great. Even being a truffle personality, says Galaxy Wolf, I feel that thought around a group conversation can send contributing energies. Right. Great, fantastic. Lovely. Really good to be with you. Hope to see you again. I'm coming back from Ireland on Monday, but I should make it. If I don't, it'll be because I'm halfway between the travel's got delayed or something. But I hope to see you next Monday. And if you're able to go to the Druid Hearth, I'll see you in the Druid Hearth right now. Okay, many, many blessings, much love, and see you all in a week's time. Bye.